before they'll be released to be fruitful or to prosper. There are laws, there are spiritual laws that we need to understand. So there are some of the things or some levels of betrayal when they happen, like I said earlier on, God will tell you, "I forgive him," but go back and sort it out with the person you offended. The person releases you, and as a matter of truth, when you are offended, if you don't let go and let God, you will be the one imprisoned. You will be the one cornered. Sometimes people offend others, and it's like they don't even know they have offended them. They behave as if there's no offense in the first place. And those people who are offended put up a certain attitude, a certain kind of attitude and disposition, as if they are to let them know that you have offended me. If you don't sort me out or ask for pardon, I will not be in a good relationship with you or have cut you off and that kind of thing. And I wish that, some people even wish that something bad has happened to them so that they will know that it's because of that. No. It's not good. When you have been offended, you have to let go. In fact, the offended is even more imprisoned and more at a disadvantaged position, more disadvantaged than the one who offended him. And we learned of Nelson Mandela, so the one who mistreated him, former President Nelson Mandela of South Africa, the one who was a jailer, mistreated him at the point that even urinated on him. And this man was free, became president, saw this same person and invited him to dinner. The man was very, very uncomfortable, like a fly that has been trapped in a bottle. Why would he do that to me? Why would he invite me when he knows that I mistreated him? That is the power of forgiveness. That is the power of letting go. Romans chapter 12, when you read down there, verse 18 thereon, it says, "As much as it depends on you, live at peace with all men." And it goes on to say that if your enemy is hungry, give him food. If he asks for water, give it to him. For in so doing, you'll be heaping coals of fire on his head. The man was experiencing that, coals of fire, because he doesn't understand why he has mistreated a former president, a president like that, imprisoned. And the man is showing him kindness. That is how it should be. One mentor of mine said that if somebody has mistreated you, maybe professionally or ministry, just go on and do good. Continue to do the good you are doing. It's something that is a great message they cannot escape from. It's something that even, quote unquote, incapacitate them. They don't understand why, with all that they have done to you, you are still nice and kind to them. That is the power of forgiveness, the power in managing and overcoming betrayals. Now, let me conclude by saying this. When it comes to betrayals, we can overcome them by understanding some phenomenon Apostle Paul explained to us in Ephesians chapter 6, talking about the weapons of the Roman soldier. You see, we need to be there for one another. If you look at Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 on. In fact, verse 12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, world rulers of this present darkness, against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places." And it goes on to say that we should stand therefore, and put on the whole armor of God, and be able to withstand the evil day. Then it goes on to say, "Stand therefore, having your waist get about with the belt of truth." That's the first one, truth. We should deal in truth. If we are dealing in truth, we will not go near betrayal. Now, so belt of truth, breastplate of righteousness. Then it goes to talk about footwear of the preparation of the gospel of peace. So you go to a place and the discussion there is about this leader and that leader, betrayers, political parties and even ministers of God. This minister is not in agreement with that minister. That church is not in agreement with that church. They are talking these things. Your footwear should not add to the betrayal. It should be the footwear of the preparation of the gospel of peace, where Jesus is made king wherever you go, where the Prince of Peace is publicized. Jesus is preached and taught. Your footwear of the preparation of the gospel of peace. Then it talks about the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, the shield of faith, which comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. But then, if you look at the apparatus, if you look at the weapons of the Roman soldier, there is nothing behind and at the back. And that is what is important for us to consider. Because in a battle, when the battle is in array, you see the soldiers, especially if you watch the Trojan War and battles of the ancient times, you see them with shields in front, shields to quench darts, quench arrows and spears. And then at the back, there's no shield, there's no weapon, but these soldiers are in ranks. And you see some of them, the first line, the second line, third line, and they are behind one another, covering each other's back. So there are times you see an arrow has been thrown and they have covered. The front one has covered the face with the shield, the other one has covered the top with the shield, the other one at the back has covered, and so no arrow will fly. Obviously, no arrow will fly straight and curve and go behind you, but an arrow can fly from behind and come and hit the back. And that is where the one in front is covered by the one at the back. So we are not superhumans and independent and having power all by ourselves. We are covered by one another. We are supposed to cover each other's back. We are supposed to cover one another's back. When we have this mindset of covering one another's back, we will not get ourselves involved in betrayal unless this betrayal is done, as I defined earlier unawares. There are times somebody can just out of good faith will reveal an information or give an information, but that will be seen to be betrayal. That's why we also need to ask questions. Why is the person asking for the information? That kind of thing.